dropped the ball. Let my team down today. Shouldn't have put the defense in that position. Make that catch. Game's over. Relax. Went back to my old habits and just got to go back and get back to work.
Anytime it doesn't work out, that's why I'm sitting in this seat, the head coaching seat. Like, I got to be ready for the consequences of whether it works or whether it doesn't work. And it was an incomplete pass, so sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Monday was the Eagles' fourth loss in the last 2 seasons, where they were leading with 2 minutes left in regulation. That's tied with the team they lost to for the most in the NFL. Philly had 0 such losses in Nick Sirianni's first 2 seasons as head coach. I mean, no matter how you look at it, that end-of-game clock management just makes you scratch your head. What stood out to you about the decision-making?
A lot, honestly. I mean, I understand he was open. Players got to execute the plays. He catches that. We're not having this conversation. But you're the Philadelphia Eagles. You need 3 yards to end this game. If you run the ball there, you're going up against a team with no timeouts. So potentially, you're bleeding the clock down to about a minute. If you can just pick up 1.5 yards on the ground, you can probably push your way into ending this game. And that was the second decision I disagreed with, by the way, kicking the field goal.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: when they went up by 6 points, right? When you do that, you are incentivizing the other team to try to win the game. If they go for it and they fail, Atlanta not only has to drive the length of the field, no timeouts, they're playing for the field goal to tie it, right? So that's something that we don't talk about enough with regards to fourth down decision making is what are you incentivizing the other team to do? And by the way, you do that knowing you don't really have a pass rush, so that has to factor into it. Well, I just didn't agree with either the third down play call or the fourth down decision, and I think both things were mistakes.
Yeah, real quick, before we get to the tape, Susan, what I wanted to see, excuse me, in that situation, Saquon's open. I learned this and stole this from Peyton Manning. In that situation, what you really prefer to try and do at home, no timeouts for Atlanta, about $140. You go into the huddle on 3rd and 3, 3rd and whatever. And you say, hey, guys, we're going to run this play. It's going to be a run. We are not throwing the football. Then automatically we're all going to sprint to the line of scrimmage on 4th down if we do not get that first down. You're going to hear me say, like, run the same play or Xerox or copy or something like that. We are never snapping the football. We're going to try to get up there, get them to jump off sides. If they do, we move. We don't snap it. We win the football game. If they don't, we just bleed the clock. To your point, we take the delay of game. I would have liked to see that more than the throw.
Yeah.
For me, the decision to not kick the field goal and go for it in that first quarter is the main problem. It's a little bit attached to who are you offensively. If you watch that early drive, they go first down, run, and then they go 2nd and 1, we're going to take a shot downfield. And then it goes run, 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 and then they get the 3rd down. Like, here it is, 1st and 10 to start the drive. They're in nickel defense, 2 safeties, Atlanta, meaning 5 defensive backs. The Eagles have 2 tight ends on the field. Great, 1st down run. Saquon gets 9 yards. Lovely. I don't mind them on 2nd and 1 here, trying to take a shot, but they check the ball down. Now it's 1st and 10 again. 2 tight ends on the field. 2 safeties back deep. Run the football. That's exactly what they do. Again, 1st and 10 run, 1st and 10 run. Now they're going to get another 1st down. The Atlanta Falcons playing with safeties super high. This is an RPO. They run the football right down the field. This is play after play after play. They get the 3rd and 4. They motion Saquon out. Okay? He's matched by a corner. That's zone defense. Look at the signal from the defense. That's zone. The Eagles run a man-beating play. Saquon's supposed to be the guy that's like the replacement behind the tight end. No one's open, and so this is a wasted play. Now we go to 4th down. I want you to pay attention to the defensive end over Dallas Goedert. They should not have gone for this. Once Saquon motions, he puts hands on Dallas Goedert. There's nowhere now to throw the football. This is where I have a way more of egregious problem with decision making. 3rd down, run it. And then when you get to 4th and goal from the 4, kick the field goal. That early in the game, take the points.
Yeah, Hawk, when you looked at this Eagles offense as a whole, not even just the end of the game, kind of like what Dan's pointing out, did you see other problems?
Laura, I'd rather talk about the Browns' 3rd down efficiency.
Ooh.
You see, example, how it messes the flow up to go off script unnecessarily. You see what I did there? Because that's what Jalen Hurts and this offense was doing. Now, if you look at this tape, like
I was with you, but I was like, I don't know.
Jalen is obviously very athletic, can obviously get out the pocket and make plays. But you're looking at plays where there are people down the field who are open. He is leaving the pocket way too early, and he is losing the opportunity for bigger plays down the field, and that is also decision-making. So once he gets past his first read, He is running outside. As you see the dagger come open here. There was another play. This is 3-by-1. Smith, number 3. He runs a nod. That would be a 60-yard touchdown if Jalen stays in the pocket and reads that defense
It's almost like when he's forced to move, he automatically turns to, like, getting off of progression.
Yeah, and also, yes, and a lot of times he's not being forced to move.
Right.
It's just
okay,
the
good
easy
point.
button for him.
Yeah, he's moving.
It's the safety net for Jalen Hurts. So for him to take that next step, for this offense to look the way we know it's capable of with the talent they have, he has to sit in there and read these plays out.
All right, but tell me about the Browns' third down efficiency.
You like that? That threw
When you said it, I was like,
whoa, Hawk, this is.
he got the wrong rundown.
Let me bring it back.
Great way to describe your point, though. I love it. The latest news around the league. Let's start in Carolina, where Bryce Young was benched yesterday. Mel Kiper Jr. had this to say about the decision.
But then you go into this year, you change everything because C.J. Stroud's doing so well in Houston. We got to destroy this thing. We got to blow it up and start over because, C.J. Stroud's doing so great in Houston. These coaches aren't getting it done. So we bring in an offensive coach who was with Baker and others, right? Bring in a new pass game coordinator, new quarterback coach for Bryce Young. Then we don't play him in the preseason. We play him one series in the final preseason game against the AOGs. None of those guys are playing for Buffalo, by the way. They went one series down the field. And they're rah-rah. Great, we got it. We accomplished everything we wanted to. I'll give you a little note. C.J. Stroud played in 2 preseason games this year. Okay, he played 4. Derek Carr played in 2 preseason games. Why? Because Clint Kubiak was coming in with a new offense, and Derek Carr is a veteran, played in 2 preseason games. Bryce Young played one series of a final preseason game against the nobodies on defense for the Buffalo Bills. Does that make sense to you? When in 2 games in, we're saying he can't play? Yes, his confidence was shattered, right? Yes, he does need to sit behind Andy Dalton for a little bit. But to blame this on Bryce Young is ridiculous. This is the blame here goes to the organization, the owner, for mishandling this young quarterback.
Mel in mid-draft season form right there. Hawk, did the Panthers make the right call benching Bryce Young?
They did. I mean, because he's not playing with any confidence. Kobe Bryant said a lack of confidence comes from a lack of preparation, and that is at the fault of the Carolina Panthers organization by not setting him up for success. He is a guy that is playing scared, and when you have a quarterback in the NFL, you have to have some above-average quality that shines through. Arm strength, speed, accuracy, decision-making. They're right to bench him because he has not shown any of those things, but I hope it's for his future development and not because of what is their fault and lack of preparation for Bryce Young.
Yeah, we've said on this show maybe they need to trade him somewhere. We'll be interested to see if there's a team that wants to be the receiver of that. All right, Jayden Daniels with his second start for the Commanders against the Giants Sunday, and the offense was much better in week 2. They averaged close to a yard more per play and converted 50% of their third downs. As a result, Washington had a time of possession over 37 minutes, much higher than week 1. Mina, how'd the Commanders get right?
They ran the ball. Funny thing about that 6.2 yards per play, Brian Robinson actually averaged nearly 8 yards per carry. But a lot of that did have to do with the quarterback because you saw similar things to what you saw in college. The effect that his presence, his threat as a runner, the zone read has on linebackers, the way it displaces them, and then also his ability to read out defenses on RPOs. You saw consistently Brian Robinson Jr. benefiting from Jayden making the correct call in terms of identifying defenders in conflict and handing him the ball into light boxes. Look, I've been critical of Cliff Kingsbury in the past, but you are seeing he is a good run game designer like he was at Arizona, and I think the Commanders are seeing the fruits of that now. Yeah, it's so interesting because we wondered exactly how he would handle this offense, and so far, at least in a small sample size, to Mina's point, it's been pretty good. Let's go to LA, where Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers are 2-0 after beating the Raiders and the Panthers, but Harbaugh says there's a bigger challenge this week.
This week, really, I mean, going to Pittsburgh, the challenge that's going to be. I mean, it's really that is an opener. This is opener against a playoff team. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers. How cool! On to Pittsburgh. Let's find out. Let's find out what we're made of. As I said, playoff team and opener against playoff opponents this week.
I love that guy. I love him.
It's entertaining every time. What have you seen from Harbaugh's offense so far, Dan?
One, they're as connected run game-wise as really anybody right now in the NFL. What I mean by that is their backs and the track that their backs take are so exactly aligned to the run scheme that they're actually blocking and the vision that then gets trusted with those backs. And I think the seams that are getting created because of that are big. The second thing is we have to praise Quentin Johnston some. I mean, he was a first-round draft pick last year that struggled. And so far this year, those struggles haven't been there. And he's made big plays, whether in one-on-one or down in the red zone situations. I think there's a beauty in the simplicity of this offense. They're not going to be apologetic about who they are. It's very efficient. Their run game married with some big plays in their pass game, you're going to have to beat them rather than they're going to give you games.
Yeah, we knew they'd love to run the ball, but we wondered so much about the weapons potentially and anybody outside, anybody who can make those big plays. So far, we've seen it. Now,